Now we're going to listen to another song before we, because that great tune you heard at the last break was Hanging by a Thread, done by our two next guests. We're going to have a little taste of another tune by them. You're listening to Live from the Heartland on WLUW 88.7 FM, and we're going to hear the two Jeffs doing My Own Worst Enemy. All right. Okay. And we are back.
We're back. We're up here on the stage at the Heartland Cafe every Saturday morning, and next week I won't be here, but Katie will be, and some of you may have seen the History Detective episode that I was featured in, and a guy named Tofuki Zabiri, who is the History Detective guy, one of them, he will be our guest on Live from the Heartland. He's going to be in town because he's showing a new film on African history that he has done. So make sure you tune in next Saturday morning and every Saturday, and you can get earlier editions of Live from the Heartland if you go to youtube.com/heartlandmedia. And sooner or later we'll have a way where you'll know when these are going to be reshown at CAN TV.
Okay, thanks, Michael. Now for the live music portion, which I don't want our listeners to get spoiled, Lenny, but Ms. Lynn Orman, our co-producer, particularly excels at bringing us incredible talent that is willing to get up on Saturday morning. Ow! So, I mean,
we stayed up last night.
Even when we have a gig on Saturday night.
Yes, exactly. So sometimes they come just for breakfast because that needs to be there before sleep meal.
Well, when Lynn was twisting my arm, as she does every week, about an array of great talent, she talked about you two guys who had, the way she described it, there were a couple of blues musicians who were redlined out of their neighborhood back in the day and moved west to L.A., but has worked together out there. They both knew each other before they went out there. A couple of white guys, Ofe cats, they used to say, I think. Jeff Dale and Jeff Stone.
Correct.
And both of them are blues guys, and they're back in town because it's...
Because Blues Fest.
It's Blues Fest, and they're going to play tonight at...
Lee's Unleaded, 7401 South Chicago Boulevard.
Well, gentlemen, tell us about your neighborhood and what forced you to move out.
Well, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Gordon because he's doing some really important work, and I really enjoyed hearing about his movement and his work and all of that because it really taps into your very question. Jeff, myself, Lynn, and about half the room here are friends of ours that all grew up in that southeast side neighborhood that you were just talking about down in Jeffrey Manor. And I was really moved by what Gordon was talking about because it really tapped into where we come from, what we're all about, where we're at in our stage of life as a product of that neighborhood and the movement and as a result of everything that happened at that time. And it's for my brother Jeff and I, we're using music to kind of bridge a whole spirit of healing that we're just now able to come to terms with based on understanding of where we came from, what we're all about, and why God put the music in us and what we're supposed to do with it.
Wow.
So it's really deep, and Gordon,
nice.
I appreciate what you're doing, man.
Wow. Let's hear it for that.
And Jeff Dale, follow that up.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, we were young teens when our folks moved out of the neighborhood, and you know, there was a lot going on at the time. You know, there was some unscrupulous people that were scaring people out of their homes. You know, telling them if they didn't move now, you know, their home value would be worthless, and it was tough because none of us wanted to leave, and but eventually everybody did, and you know, for Jeff and I to go back to the South Side and play, you know, our music, which is, you know, we learned the music down there, and, you know, then split, and then you know, to come back and play there again, it's just a homecoming for us.
Excellent.
Great.
Why don't we, without delay, just do some singing and playing?
Yeah, I'm going to do something here on the cigar box guitar.
I love that.
This is a Honey Boy Edwards song, and Honey Boy, huge influence on me, and a friend late in his life, and we're tonight at our gig at Lee's. We're going to be raising some money for the Honey Boy Foundation for the National Blues Museum, and so this is in honor of my friend. Pretty baby, ride with me tonight. Pretty baby, ride with me tonight. Want you to ride with me, honey, while the moon is shining bright. Pretty baby, ride my automobile. Pretty baby, ride my automobile. Want you to ride with me, honey, and I'll show you the way that I feel. Look out now. Come on, Jeff. Pretty baby, ride with me tonight. Pretty baby, ride with me tonight. I want you to ride with me, honey, shining bright. I said I want you to ride with me, honey, while the moon is shining bright. Yeah, ride with me, honey, while the moon is shining bright. Thank you.
All right. That was Jeff Stone and Jeff Dale. My gosh, it is powerful to sit next to that kind of woo.
2 weeks in a row we got harmonicas here.
I know. Last week was Corky Siegel sitting right where you are doing, oh my Lord. Let's hear it again for those guys.
I think that's the first time I touched the guitar before noon.
I think it's the first time we've been awake before noon, man.
Well, good work on the microphones there too, over there, red-haired man. It looks like you're gearing up for another, and I don't see any reason why I should interrupt that.
Let me ask a question first. I want to know what's life in L.A. like, and why you would want to stay there and not be back here in Chicago.
You take that one first, Jeff.
Well, you know, when I moved out to Los Angeles to become a blues musician professionally there, I come to realize that that's kind of like a surfer in Los Angeles moving to Chicago to become a professional surfer. Good question. So yeah, it's there is a blues scene in Los Angeles. It's very, very, very different from Sweet Home Chicago, and I love coming back here to play. Why do I stay in Los Angeles? If this was January and you asked me that question,
it's clear.
That would be the answer.
It's a little different for me. I spent 20 years out in California raising my family. One of the toughest things that hit me, as Jeff alluded to, it's a completely different scene. And when your heart is 98th Street on the southeast side, that's something that nobody can ever take from you. So I had a hard time adjusting. So after 20 years, I moved down to Dallas, Texas for a job and a woman. And Dallas is a lot closer to what I'm used to than LA, certainly. But I've been blessed in my life to play music all over the world and all over the country. And it's just life keeps bringing me back home to Chicago.
Well, thank you so much for making this a stop in your Chicago trip. Tonight is Honey Boy Edwards tribute, right? And what do people need to know about that?
Well, they need to know that they got to come down to Lee's, and we've got a fantastic band tonight. Jeff and I are playing with Charlie Love, great Chicago blues man. He's part of the band. Big Perm on bass, Mark Mack, who was James Cotton's drummer, is playing with us. The great keyboardist Dave Gordon is going to be playing with us, and it's going to be a fantastic show.
What's the address again? At least
7401 South
Chicago Avenue, yeah. And so we hope to see everybody there. We go on at 9, and we'll play until they make a stop.
Yeah, for all you musicians that are out there, Jeff and I have it's a 3-set show. And the first 2 sets we're going to do our part to help entertain and reach out to folks. But that 3rd set, that's going to be a Chicago blues party. So if y'all coming from the blues festival and you just don't feel like going home, come on down and party with us, because we're going to have a really nice party on that 3rd set.
There's actually no if about it. Blues fans are never ready to go home when Blues Fest gets over.
Even when they do go home.
Even when they do go home. That's right.
And we will be raising money for the Honey Boy Edwards Foundation for the National Blues Museum. And any more information about Honey Boy, go to honeyboyedwards.com. Just loved the man. He was very inspirational for me.
Yeah, we've got some CDs that if you find it in your heart, y'all, to take us home with you, please do. But Jeff Dale's latest album, Blues Room, is just a tremendous project, and from the south side of my soul, just tremendous work by my brother Jeff. Three Faces of the Blues, which is a gospel blues ministry project, and then Live at the Old Town School of Folk Music is a tribute to Lightning Hopkins that I recorded with Reverend K.M. Williams and Washboard Jackson out of Dallas last year when we came up here for the Blues Festival, and that was it was actually produced by Lynn Orman Weiss, Orman Music and Media, and that whole show was put together by Barry Dolans. So it's got deep Chicago roots all the way through.
Well, let's hear some more of your guys' stuff, because we're looking forward to it.
Thank you. This is a new song called Final Destination. When I got on that train at the station with you, I choose to ignore the clue. I just wanted a nice long ride, but my final destination was the blues. Now this train turned out to be a shaky ride. Conductor say, boy, you still got to pay your dues. Now I can tell just by the look in her eye, my final destination was the blues. Come on, Jim. How much this ticket would really cost me. She made me an offer I could not refuse. When the train got to that bridge, it crossed my final destination was the blues. I got on that train thinking I'd ride it to heaven. You know, I refused to read the reviews. You know, I found out too late this was no cheap date. My final destination was the blues. My final destination was the blues. My final destination was the blues. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, Jeff Stone, Jeff Dale. I also come from the Southwest side.
All right.
So what you guys were talking about, the whole racial change thing, blackbusting, the whole tawdry mess that formed my life. And I can tell from the way you talk about it and the way you reacted to Gordon, the way they play. And the way you play, that it totally formed yours, and I respect. I just want to recognize that, honor it, and at the same time say, the future of blues, young people coming up, are they doing like you're doing? Are they being blue-eyed soul brothers? Do we have a mixture? Do we have a rainbow coalition in the blues?
My feeling is that the blues tent is wide open.
Indeed.
And, there's a lot of blues rockers, and there's traditionalists, and there's people that are trying to do new things, and it's all good.
It's all good.
I've had the recent blessing. We did the first live Three Faces of the Blues show last February in southwest Mississippi, down in western Mississippi. And we played for 1,100 people over 2 days. The second day was 500 kids at a local high school. And the most interesting thing happened. After the show, there was this young kid that came up to me, and he said, Mr. Jeff, I've never heard a harmonica before. And I looked at him, and I'm thinking, we're in Mississippi. How do you even,
How does that happen?
I said, son, I want you to go home and get your mama, your daddy, your grandma, and your grandpa, and you tell them what you just said to me. See what happens to that young man. But it's an evolution. And there's a responsibility that we have as especially Chicago blues people to keep doing what we're doing and take what we're doing to the people so that these kids understand where this music comes from.
Amen.
Well, I got a couple of kids who've been involved in rock and roll bands, and I got to say they've listened to a lot of blues, and they still do. So we're going to see how that manifests itself as things go forward. We want to thank you guys for coming on. We want to thank all the people.
Thank you so much.
We encourage you to go down and hear you tonight. What's that place again?
Lee's Unleaded on the southeast side of Chicago.
And we want to thank Lisa downtown for engineering today. We want to thank Grant over here. We want to thank the Wozniaks, Paul and Mary, for videotaping this. We want to thank Lynn Orman. We want to thank everybody who makes this show possible.
Do you guys feel warmed up enough to take us out?
Take us out with something that makes us jump up and down.
Okay.
Not too demanding.
All right, you've been listening to the Live from the Heartland show. We encourage you to do good in the world. The world needs all the good that you do. We say all power to the people, and let it rip, gentlemen.
Sun going down behind me as I head east. Seems like all the bets been fixed, the pound's been greased. I ain't nobody's fool, I can say at least. I'm driving so I can find me a little peace. Try to understand the way I roll. These are the blues from the south side of my soul. I said, hey now, mama, you think we can agree? You're the only one that might help. Other fellas want you, but my eyes out. I know they don't stand a chance unless you lie.
Don't try to understand the way I roll. These are the blues from the south side of my soul. South side of my soul. Come on, Jeff. My north side don't hear the call. My west side got nothing at all. Up for the sunrise in the east, but my blues must be released. Don't try to understand the way I roll. These are the blues from the south side of my soul. Yeah, baby. The south side of my soul. 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 My brother Jeff Stone.
To the home of the pioneers
Jeff Dale, y'all.
of gospel music, Gospel Memories with Bob Mirovich on 88.7 WLUW Chicago.
Choir's gonna sing for you now. Work on, pray on. The time ain't long. Lean over on somebody's shoulder and tell them, neighbor, work on, pray on. The time ain't
And 5. And we are back. It is live from the Heartland, just like it is every Saturday morning here at the corner of Glenwood and Lunt, the sunny and outdoor cafe-filled corner of Glenwood and Lunt. Thank you all for being inside here with us. I appreciate the audience. Give yourselves a hand.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there you
We
are.
like that.
There you are. Well, it's
Who's this with a USA hat on?
This is our girl. This is the start of summer festival season. I know the kitchen is very busy right now getting ready for the Bellwether Fest, which is down in Wicker Park this weekend. Also this weekend
at
is
the Hideout, I think.
At the Hideout, right? And we'll have a booth there serving food, and it's also a craft fair and music. It's pretty cool. Actually, all over Chicago is happening this weekend. It's Sox and Cubs are in town. The Hawks are going to play tonight and maybe win. We've got Printers Row Fest. We've got Bellwether. We've got Midsummer Fest over in Andersonville. But the thing that we open the summer with here in Rogers Park is why Rosanna is sitting next to us. Hello, Rosanna Magada.
Good morning. Good morning.
So glad
Good
to have you.
Well, thank you.
Rosanna and I work together on a committee that this year is bringing us the 20th annual Artists of the Wall.
Yes.
Can you believe it?
Yeah.
Do they sandblast the walls, or could some archaeologists in the future get 20 layers of murals on the wall?
No. We have sandblasted it.
Okay.
In the past.
In the past. We didn't this year.
No.
So they could, the archaeologists could dig down and get 2 layers
They
of
could
murals.
at this point, they could probably get about 5 or 6 layers.
Just a few.
Just a few.
Not too many.
Rosanna,
so for
how
all of
did
you who don't know, the Artist on the Wall is some people paint some beautiful pictures down there at the beach.
Well, let's let her talk about that. What is Artists of the Wall anyway, for people who don't know?
Well, it's this wonderful project that we have over at Loyola Park, here in Rogers Park. And we have about 150 spaces on the wall where people can come. You can register online, and it's just a wonderful program that we put on. And I'm just so nervous. I don't even know what to say.
Oh, all right, so I'm gonna do it with her because we've worked on this together for many times, and you know what? The coolest thing about Rosanna is Rosanna took part in this many years ago.
Yeah.
What year was it? The first time. 2000. Really?
01.
I would have thought even earlier, but that's when I met
12 years
you.
ago.
Yeah.
But it's also when you met someone important.
My husband.
Exactly.
Oh, you're married now?
Yeah.
She met Michael. She's been married all the time.
Yeah.
She met Michael, her husband, as they painted squares on the wall, and their relationship bloomed from there.
This is true.
I love it. I love it. So, okay, so we do paint these squares. We do have a theme each year. People paint to the theme if they want. They don't have to.
Yeah.
And we also give out cash prizes based on adult, adult, teen, and
Youth.
juniors. I forget the
Yes,
words we call. And there's also
Adult,
music.
youth, and juniors. Yes, there's lots of music. We've got a great lineup this year with starting on Saturday, the 15th. We've got Handyman, Steel Plan, Genie Tanner Quartet, Old Folk, and Conjunto
Conjunto.
with James Sanders. And then on Sunday the 16th, we have Joe Dickinson and Eastern Bloc, Maisha Haran Quartet, the Pratt Cast featuring Robert Babe Irving III and Ernie Adams. So we've got a wonderful lineup. So we encourage all to come out and have some fun with us and get your block on the wall, and it's out there for an entire year. And we just have a really great time for Father's Day weekend.
Yeah.
It's a great way to build community, and a lot of the funds that we, the money that we get for the Loyola Park Advisory Council, we do a lot of other activities during the year, and it's just a blast, really, and it's a great way to be a part of our community.
And describe again where it happens exactly.
It happens at Loyola Beach and Rogers Park, at Farwell and the Lake from 9 a.m. to dusk. Saturday, both Saturday and Sunday.
And you should be forewarned. We're talking now like there's spaces left, and there may be spaces left at Saturday morning when they open up the registration tent, but they'll be gone.
Yeah,
They will be gone.
So pre-registration is advised.
Yes.
So go to the Loyola Park Advisory Council and website, and
We don't. Well,
Okay.
you actually, at this point, you probably have to go over to Loyola Park,
To the field house.
to the
field
field house. I'm not even sure. I think if Laura were here, she'd be shaking her head no and saying, no, come to the tent on Saturday morning.
true. You're
because
probably
at
right.
this point in time, they only save a few squares to sell on Saturday morning, and that's a week from today at the Artists of the Wall Festival, the 20th annual.
And at the risk of Katie kicking me, I'd like to say I love your voice, and I was wondering where that accent is from.
She hates when we do that.
I do.
I even imitated her.
You're not going to not telling me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hallelujah.
I'm just a neighborhood girl. How about that?
She is. Let's have a big round of applause.
No just about it. A neighborhood girl who does good work. Thank you so much, Rosanna, for
having
coming
me.
out.
I appreciate you.
And helping get the word out.
Let me have that poster for a minute. I'm going to hold it up while we make our break here.
So while we make our break, I'll also just remind you it is Trash to Treasure Swap Weekend, and that is a 2-day event. And I didn't mention it's also Electronics Recycling Weekend at the same place, Chicago Math and Science Academy. That's today, Saturday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., and tomorrow for pickup after 2 for just doors open. Public can come and pick what you want. It's a free event. It's a good way to move things, recycle, reuse, all the good stuff. We want to think good thoughts right now and peace, and in his transition thoughts towards Nelson Mandela, who is at this time struggling, and no way should he struggle anymore this lifetime. He's done enough for a couple.